mobilization we are seeing is unparalleled. The Federal Council met moments ago and voted unanimously for mobilization to destroy the arachnid threat.
What's good, guys? Well, what a week. We had Dejoy resigning. We have the NALC finally deciding to go to arbitration, and I'm still waiting to see if the pigs are flying. We had public outcry. We had a conflict of interest from Dejoy's holdings in XPO Logistics to awarding a contractor like Oshkosh the award, a multi-billion-dollar award for a vehicle they have no experience in. Pro-labor president in Biden previously, and a labor board change, and in the end, Dejoy ends up taking himself out.
Ha! Just like a bitch!
But fuck it, we'll take it. Dejoy says, while there remains much critical work to be done to ensure that the Postal Service can be financially viable as we continue to serve the nation in our essential public service mission, I have decided it is time to start the process of identifying my successor and of preparing the Postal Service for this change. The major initiatives we are currently endeavoring are multi-year programs, and it is important to have leadership in place whose tenure will span this future period. After 4.5 years leading one of America's greatest public institutions throughout dramatic change during unusual times, it is time for me to start thinking about the next phase of my life, while also ensuring that the Postal Service is fully prepared for the future. Now, it's not clear how long it will take to find his replacement. Dejoy doesn't really know. It's likely going to be up to Trump because he's the main one who's interested in replacing Dejoy to begin with. You guys seen the articles before. He was talking about finding someone else instead of Dejoy. That might have been the contributing reason why Dejoy's taking himself out. He doesn't want to deal with that. And if you remember Trump's first term, he was talking about privatizing the post office for a while. We don't know what form that'll take. He has to go through Congress to privatize the post office, but he could get the wheels started, spin the wheels and see what he can do in the meanwhile. Maybe section off parts of the post office. Maybe the most profitable part, the logistics side, the warehouse side, the processing side is the most profitable. Maybe you could start selling that off or subcontracting it. I don't know. Now, just as important as that news was, we got to talk about the decision that NALC just made with the Executive Council to go to arbitration, which, to be honest, took me by surprise. I kind of expected them to drag this out and put out another TA for you guys to vote on so they could, milk this for another month or two while the results were coming in. But no, they decided we're going to go ahead and go to arbitration. I guess Brian saw the writing on the wall. So we now start the process that should have started 600 days ago. And Brian said on the decision, while there was some movement on the issues that matter to letter carriers during the 15-day period of good faith bargaining, it was not enough to produce a fair contract for the active members of the NALC. We have been preparing for our case in interest arbitration since before we officially opened this round of contract negotiations. He says, we have built a strong case and we will fight like hell in interest arbitration to achieve the best collective bargaining agreement for letter carriers that the process can produce. Now, luckily for you guys, I know you guys are worried that he has some influence in the arbitration, or he's going to be negotiating in arbitration like he did for this contract, but this is usually the part where the lawyers get involved and they do the negotiating on behalf of the union. And so that's going to be something he doesn't have any say in, which is good for you guys. But yeah, it's just refreshing to see Brian finally backed into the corner and not being able to touch this part of the negotiating process. It's just funny. All of a sudden, he wants to fight like hell and do the stuff that he should have been doing the last 2 years. Anyway, I wanted to provide those two updates for you guys. One of the biggest updates, I didn't even think that Dejoy would step down anytime soon either, and especially that Brian would decide with the executive council to go ahead and just go to arbitration. I think none of us saw that coming. I think most of us probably saw him dragging this out and just sending out another vote to waste time. But things are going, things are moving, and I think this is the best chance you guys are going to have for finally getting the changes that we need, not just for the NALC, but for the post office, because this will start trickling down the effects of this arbitration. And I'm rooting for you guys, and I'm rooting for the rest of us as well. Thanks for checking me out. Peace.